Y'all are in for a treat today. From the moment I met Julie, I knew she was a rock star. Was it her energy? Possibly. There's very few people who can meet me at my energy level, and she's one of them. She is filled to the brim with more positivity than I thought one person could ever hold. Was it her passion? Yes, absolutely. She loves what she does deeply, and it shows in everything she touches. But when I really knew we could be business besties was when I learned that her forthcoming book was on LinkedIn. And if you've been around here for a while, you know my stance on that particular platform. It's one of the two non negotiables I believe every author needs. Reading her book was a joy, but spending time with her recording this podcast was even more enjoyable. Today, Julie and I are moving LinkedIn mountains for authors, and we hope you become empowered to embrace all that the platform has to offer. Ready to meet my LinkedIn loving author friend? Let's dive in. Hey, I'm Stephanie Feger, and Empower is my middle name. Well, not really, but I think it should be. I believe that empowered people empower people, and I'm obsessed with empowering you, the nonfiction author, with impactful marketing strategies and tactics to help you take your important message and share it with those who desperately need it, want it, and will buy it. I'm the owner and chief strategist of the Empower PR Group and the author of 4 books myself, including my newest book, Emergence, Living Lessons from the Soil, and my latest author book, Make Your Author Impact. Sell more books, increase your reach, and achieve your why. I've been called to merge my love for reading books, writing books, and marketing books to help nonfiction authors with laser-focused strategies and tactics to write books that sell, promote books to those who need and want them most, and build meaningful businesses from empowering messages. Think of this podcast as your one-stop shop for marketing insights for an author who has been there and done that and understands exactly where you are, because guess what? I have and I do. So get your pens ready because I'm ready to empower you. This is the Empowered Author Podcast. There are only 2 non-negotiables that I tell authors they need, and that is you need an author website and you must be on LinkedIn. So when Julie approached me about an opportunity to collaborate to help her bring her book to life, which happens to be all about LinkedIn, I wasn't just a yes, I was a hell yes. I couldn't wait to roll up my sleeves and to get in and to meet Julie, and I can't wait for you all to meet her too. So Julie, welcome to the Empowered Author Podcast.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, for having me. This has just been an amazing opportunity, and working with Stephanie, getting to know her and learning from each other. I think that's been the biggest part, and being able to share our ideas and be receptive. So I'm excited to take a deeper dive into LinkedIn, all the best practices around it, and how you can really leverage it, right? Leverage LinkedIn to your advantage to become that trusted brand. So thank you for having me today, Stephanie.
You're so welcome. Now, your journey to LinkedIn, there's more to your story than that. So before we dive in on your book that is coming soon and your LinkedIn kind of passion as well, tell us a little bit about you and your journey and how you even got here, because it's quite remarkable.
Well, thank you, Stephanie. Yes, so great question. In terms of my journey, I started entered the architecture, engineering, construction industry, way back in 2008, which feels like a lifetime ago,
right?
Back. I mean, especially
lots have happened between there.
Yes, ma'am, and a lot of all the COVID years in there too, right? They got to count as double. But entering that industry from a writing and marketing standpoint was interesting to learn about buildings. I'm a building nerd. That is like right here. I can say that for sure. And being able to ask questions, right, and be curious about how things come together, right? How do buildings get built? Why are they designed a certain way? All the things. Then when I moved to Colorado in 2010, I was working in-house for a while in marketing support for an engineering firm, architecture firm, and kind of trying to learn the industry itself, right? Who are the players, right? Who are the decision makers, right? Who do you need to have on your team? And who are the ones that you're like, you want to avoid them like the plague, right? So it's kind of figuring out those relationships and how they fit together. All of those things led me to be more active on LinkedIn, right? I needed to understand people's backgrounds, right? Like, where did you go to school, right? I mean, again, it's these little
Yes.
things that you don't even think
Oh,
about.
Julie, okay, hold on. I have
right?
to tell you, you're not, I
Yes.
live in Louisville, and it's a
Yes.
funny joke here in Kentucky, in the Louisville area, not Kentucky,
Yeah.
but Louisville specifically. Because they're not just like, where'd you go to school? It's always, where'd you go to high school? There's such a
Ooh.
small high school world here, and
Okay.
everyone's like, they don't care about anything else. They're just like, oh, you went to that high school.
Right?
Did you go to this high school? I was just meeting someone at church this weekend, and she went to the rival of my high school, and I said, I'm not sure we can sit at the table. And it's been like 20
Right.
years, so
Exactly.
it runs deep. But
those
I agree,
things.
it's about relationships. Yeah.
Yes, right. And those qualifiers, right? Like maybe you wouldn't start having known that, right? That she went to the rival high school. Maybe you wouldn't open your conversation with "Go Warriors" or whatever your rival mascot was or whatever. So again, fine tune things. Then when I started my company in 2015, Business Rewritten, it was incumbent upon me to make those connections, right? Like I am a person of one. How do I reach out into the industry and not only meet people, but connect with people? I think that's the big point, is those connection points. And we talk about a lot of those in the book, but finding, again, those things that you either, can explore further with someone. Like, for instance, I always check where people volunteer. Volunteering is huge for me, right? So if you're big into Habitat for Humanity, or let's say you go to the children's hospital and read books to kids, that's what I want to know, right? Like, how are you spending your time outside of work? And I think a lot of people don't realize all the information that you can disclose or not on LinkedIn, and how you can, again, use that to your advantage to build trust with people, right? And to establish those true connections, not just, oh, I connected with you, right? Like by hitting a button, but how do I take the online, the human, or the online world and connect it to the human part, right? Because we're all human, right? And we all need something that we can relate to. So long answer, but I needed that full progression, right?
It's a beautiful answer. And I don't know, I may have probably told you some of this, but my family came from a background of building. So my grandfather did house designs and he was an entrepreneur. He formed his own building business, construction business here locally. My uncles took it over. So building has always been in my genetics too, although I'm not good at it and I'm not good at marketing it. So but I just love it. I look at it and it kind of gets me excited. And I love that how you see LinkedIn as kind of a way to also do building, right? To build relationships, to build your business.
Yes, ma'am.
What I love about your book was really how you were able to not just teach people the importance of building relationships, but you literally broke it apart on how to do that. Kind of like you gave you helped them create the foundation of a building. You helped them with the framework and the wood pieces to put it all together. It's their choice on what color walls they have, what's the brick or the siding or whatever going to look like, everything in between. So talk to me and share a little bit with our listeners about how you made the pivot from, okay, I'm going to help people build relationships and do marketing in the design and construction industry. Now, I don't know, I've noticed something like LinkedIn is a big deal, and I guess I should write a book about it. So tell us a little bit about that pivot, and then give us an update on your book, girl. I want to know about it.
Yes. All the things. Yes, I love it. So starting with that foundation, right, of getting on LinkedIn, I found myself on LinkedIn all the time, right? Like it was maybe a bad addiction, but it was a great way again to kind of establish, healthy addiction, yes, ma'am. To find out again, how do I, when you are starting your own business, right, you become the brand, right? You're not only your person, me, Julie, but then also your company brand. And I think that's what really intrigued me to write the book, was that on LinkedIn, there's two personas, right? You've got your personal profile with your lovely picture and all of your attributes. But also there's exactly, right? Yes. There's also the company side, right? Of, really showing your company's culture on LinkedIn. And when I say culture, I mean, what do you guys do outside of work, right? Like, are you going out for happy hours, or maybe you're volunteering together as a company, right? All of those, I think people miss those opportunities, right, on LinkedIn, and they're not sharing that because they're like, oh, well, we're just going to share our latest company award or an article or something that we wrote. Well, that's great. But LinkedIn is made up of individuals. Again, we are human, right? We yearn to connect with people, right? And so being able to balance kind of both of those things, right, is super important. And so I had was giving presentations, right, about LinkedIn and how important it is. And let me just tell you, when you're in a room full of construction men and women, okay, and they're staring at you like, what, right? Like, what is this exactly? So it forced me to give the play-by-play, Stephanie, right? Like, you talk about building a building, it is very prescriptive, right? Like, you got to have the foundation first, right, before you can put up the walls. So being able to like chronologically, sequentially break down how you build a brand, both your personal brand, right, and your company brand on LinkedIn was super critical. So in doing that, I found myself repeating it, and I was like, ooh, this might be a good body of knowledge, right, that I could then turn around and write a book about to help you. What do I like to say? Choose your own adventure, right? Like I understand, right? There's the whole range of people's experience level, right? With LinkedIn, right? And so as part of the book, I included kind of tips or best practices, right? To actually get on LinkedIn, right? There's the theory and then there's the practice, right? So let's say you are brand new to LinkedIn. Maybe you don't even have an account. First of all, get one. Please do, right? And then connect with Stephanie and I on LinkedIn.
Check.
Right? Step one. Yes, check the box, right? But then too, as you're going through the book, again, after it's about getting on LinkedIn and taking action. So if you consider yourself a novice, right, brand new to this, I give plenty of tips in each chapter. There's 8 chapters in the book about what you can do for someone that maybe not has a lot of experience or doesn't feel comfortable, right, sharing things online. Let's go down that rabbit hole together and get you doing little incremental things.
Beautiful.
Right? But at the same time, there's also people that live on LinkedIn like I do, right? But could still room for improvement, right? Little different things, little nuances that you may not have thought of, or maybe, you were just kind of like, ooh, should I share that personally? Or is that my company brand, right? Helping to decide those differentiators. I think that's super important when you're digesting information. And also to kind of say, oh, well, maybe I'll keep this book. And you go from novice to experience, right? Obviously, that's my hope for everyone, for all the listeners, is to really grow, right, and learn. So I think meeting people where they're at and then being able to advance and grow for all the possibilities that are on LinkedIn is super important.
Well, somebody very wise once told me, if you say something more than once, write it down. And then I'm going to add to it, if you say something more than once and write it down and it has legs, then you need to publish it. Like, turn that sucker into a book.
Yes.
And I love that. Right.
Exactly,
I love that you did some beta testing and using it in speaking engagements with your clients, et cetera. And people started to go, oh, that's interesting. I think I might want to take action with that, or, oh, okay. And then you took a step back. And of course, this is the beautiful marketing brain of yours. You're like, this is relevant more than just inside this industry. Other people could benefit from it. And you accomplish something beautiful. I love that, like you mentioned, it's like a choose your own adventure. Absolutely it is. So throughout her book, she does a beautiful, Julie, you do a beautiful job of allowing people to understand something that can be complicated. And then you say, all right, don't worry, wherever you're at, here's something you can do. Yes. And even the people who are experienced, I would call myself one of those too. I was taking notes of things I can do better too. So it's proof. I don't care where you are on the LinkedIn journey, your book has value for them. Yes. And I am like so excited that it's going to be coming out soon. Do you have a date?
Me too. So September 7th is the official launch date. It'll be available online, Amazon. If you want a personal signed copy, we can do that too, right?
Yes.
But I think I'm so excited. Yep. The summer, we've got the summer to kind of promote it, get it out there. Yep. And I love September. Something about the start of fall, Stephanie. It's very, I don't know, it's close to my heart, obviously. It's my birthday is, and also, that's also when I started my company.
That's
Sorry,
beautiful.
We're going down the wrong road, but I just love September.
I love it too.
So,
I love it too.
Yeah, it has a lot of meaning behind it.
I'm reflecting. There's another big piece about your book that I loved, and it's the fact that you've got 8 chapters, but split in half. Part of it takes you on the personal journey of the personal profile. The other part, and your personal brand. The other part is that company brand, and that is something, I'll be honest, I don't spend a lot of time for authors in, right? I talk a lot to authors about the importance of the personal brand, mainly because people connect with people, and authors are people, and people buy from people.
Yes.
But if you buy Julie's amazing book, you will walk away with even more on how do you build that authorpreneur business, right? Is that your speaking business? Is it that your book is in alignment with a different business you're doing? Whatever it is. And so I loved all of that. I loved everything about it.
Thank you. Yes, no, because you get both ends of it for sure.
Okay, so speaking of both ends, I'm going to put you on the spot, and and if you don't know the answer, I'll help you out. I want to let's do but maybe both of us do this. What is one of our favorite tips? One favorite tip for the personal profile from you, and then we'll do one tip on the company. So, from your perspective, Julie, what is one of your favorite tips for a personal profile or personal brand?
This might seem small, but in my industry for working in architecture construction, there's always some type of certification that you get, right? Whether you are a professional engineer or for myself, it's leadership and energy, environmental design, accredited professional. Ooh, that was a mouthful. Lead AP. But I encourage.
That is a mouthful.
Right? Exactly. I'm like, over and over. But again, depending upon what industry you have, there are, certain certifications or things you get. I always encourage people, when you type in your first name, last name. So my first name is Julie. Then it's for the last name, I put Wanzer, lead AP. So that it is there every time you post, every time you share, every time you comment or like something. People see you. It's automatically an establisher of trust and authority, right? Like lead AP, if you're in the industry, you understand that I care about sustainability, right? How can we be more energy efficient and use design to influence how people act, right? And how they can be more environmentally conscious. But for someone else, if I didn't have that right next to my name, people may not know that and not know what I care about, right? So it's just that little tip that it will stay with you, so that if you have spent all those years, let's say, becoming an MBA, right? If you went to business school, you better put that front and center because you spent a lot of money on that, right?
Yes, you should.
Exactly. You have the value of it, right? And make sure it follows you wherever you're at. So that's a little tip. Go ahead, Steph. What would you say is yours? What's your personal tip?
That's one good tip. I have a lot, but I'm going to think for authors, it is to turn on the publication section and add your book in it.
Ooh. I haven't done that yet.
So too many authors
Yes, I know. See, I need to write that down.
Well, I think when you open up a profile and you get it rolling in LinkedIn, there's some core elements that every profile has, but you have the ability to add other profiles. And in that or other sections of your profile, one of them is publications. So turn on that, become an Amazon affiliate if you can, get an Amazon affiliate link, put your book description in there, a link and all the details, and then have the link be the Amazon affiliate link. Make sure your publication. So interesting how you talk about credentials in the publishing space. If that book's not on there, then people don't even know. They don't even think, oh my gosh, well, you mean I can hire her to speak and also maybe get some books out of the deal? They don't think about it. So that's one tip.
Right. Oh, no. And I'm writing that down as soon as we get off this. We get done talking, Stephanie. I'm like, my goodness, I need to update my publication section because yes.
Published author. I love it.
So you learn from each other.
Okay, so what about on the company side, a business, a company page? What would be your one tip for that?
One tip, again, I kind of mentioned this earlier when we were talking about really displaying your culture. I think that, again, a lot of companies just take whatever's on their website and put it on LinkedIn. Yeah. And I'm like, don't do that, right? First of all, they're two separate channels. But I really encourage the company side to really put your people first, right? Whether that's showing them at happy hour or volunteering, whatever that is. Because people want to know what you do outside of work, right?
And they do.
Right? Of course. They want to connect because you never know where that next job's going to come from, right? The next person that you partner with or the next person that you hire, right? Like they want to be able to get a little bit more out or learn more about your company more than just what's on your website, right? So I encourage company branding to put more of their people out there. So it may not be appropriate for the website, but it's certainly appropriate for LinkedIn. So that's my company tip. What's yours, Steph?
Okay, I love it. Well, I just like shared that I
Yes.
don't spend a lot of energy on this, but this is what I will
Nice.
tell, and I'm learning. This is what I took notes on from your book.
Yes.
But I tell authors, they're like, but I don't have a company. And I say, oh, I don't know. The moment that you publish a book, you formed a business. You do.
Yes,
Congratulations.
that is
Yay.
true. Very true.
So what I care a lot about is that you actually have a company page.
Mhm.
But I actually selfishly, this is in my mind, when I'm looking at a personal page and the company has those two little bar graphics, which means you don't have a company page and no photo,
Yes.
it goes inside me like razor blades and my stomach twirls. So I want to make sure that you have your brand set up as a company.
Yes.
So if that is you, stephaniefeger.com, if that is me, that is okay. But I want your photos to be the profile photo of a company page is not your face.
Yeah.
It is your company logo. If you do not
Yes.
have one, go to Canva and create one, people. It's not hard. Okay.
Right.
And
No, very
then
simple.
put a beautiful background image that feels consistent
Ooh.
with your author website and your author brand. I don't want you people to go to a company page and feel completely different than who you are and anywhere else that they find you online. So that would be my little tip is like, just get your photo, I'm happy if they have the photos.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I know. Touche. Let's, again, checklist, right? Start with the bare minimum or, having something.
Yes.
And to add to that, Stephanie, so again, thinking about authors and like you said, if it's stephaniefeger.com, make sure you got that company page. But I typically get the question, how do I build that company page, right? Let's say you, Stephanie, you've got like 10,000 followers, right? But you literally just created your company page yesterday, right? What I recommend doing is to first post, like if you're going to make a post or share an article or share maybe something like a tidbit from your book, right? With a call to action, I recommend people doing that first on their company page. And then you as a person, right, in your personal profile, then sharing that out, right? Because that's kind of the dropping the pebble in the river or in the lake, and it ripples out that ripple effect. Yes. That's what I'm going for. Yes, exactly. Right. And
it ups your credibility.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Right. Like, oh, Stephanie's got a company. Yeah. She's incorporated. Right. Again, establishing that.
Yeah.
That credibility factor, it matters, right? Like those little optics, again, they're small changes. Yes. This is not rocket science, y'all. Like, this is not like, okay, we're going to study for this long, but it's thinking about, again, those little tweaks that build your personal brand and then your company brand. So.
Okay, that was too much fun. Thank you for doing that unexpected
little turn. I know. I was like, wait a minute.
Little thing. You're like, Stephanie did a turn. So the reason I know, a lot about your book and your message is because you gifted me the opportunity to dig into it and to build a book marketing plan for you and support you through some other work. And so I'm just curious, as a marketer, my friend, anytime people come to me who are marketers and are like, I need help, I actually love it because that means I know that the value of marketing and a plan. But I'd just be curious from your perspective, what was it like as a marketer to have a book marketing expert guru help you with something that was so intimate and close in your world?
Well, let me tell you, first of all, I'm still, I think, recovering. No, in the best way possible, because I guess first and foremost, Stephanie, I can't tell you how gratifying it was that in reading through your plan, how detailed you were and how you were picking up those little breadcrumbs that I was leaving throughout the book. And I was like, oh, she gets it. Somebody gets me, right? And so having that, I think that helped establish almost an immediate connection for sure. And then also too, building off each other's trust and credibility. I know I feel like I keep saying but those are big words, right? And they're super important.
It is.
But no, the experience of having to read it and go through it, I loved it. Again, the amount of detail and then just the variety of ideas. Again, when you are an author or a marketer of one, right? You think you got the best ideas. I know I do. Right. But being able to at least collaborate and be open to a fellow marketer was just, I can't tell you how, again, gratifying it was to be like, oh, okay, we're already speaking the same language. She's picking up on those breadcrumbs that I put out there. And then being able to turn around, and I've actually hired Stephanie to execute part of that plan with me, right? So that's going to me even be kind of like the next stage, the next step. And I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Well, I am too, and I'm just so grateful. But I'll have to tell you, like secretively behind the scenes, I guess it's not a secret anymore now that I share it. like I do that for me. I have somebody else read my stuff and
Yes.
give me plans and help me support me in my book. We're too close to our message and our book. We always will be.
Yes.
And you can have 1,000 ideas, but it's really important, I think, to take a step back and let somebody else that you trust in a little bit, because as a friend tells me regularly, 1+1 equals way more than two.
Ooh,
When people come together, really, really beautiful and big things
very true.
happen. And I'm always honored and grateful when people come to us here and allow us the opportunity to not just read their book in edit phase when most people
Right?
haven't,
And
maybe
yes, I
very
was
few
going to say
people
you were
have,
one of the first,
and
Miss
allow
Stephanie.
right.
I loved it.
Oh. Ah! I don't take that
Right.
lightly. Like, I know that's important, man, because as an author, I know what that feels like. When I send my book to someone, I'm always bugging my editor, who's a
Yes.
friend of mine. I'm like, Jen, is it
Right?
good?
Yeah.
Is
Just
it
tell
bad?
me.
If it's bad, don't tell me. It's got to be good.
Right. Exactly. Well, it's
Right?
that.
But I'm like, I need it to be good. I
No,
love
of course. Well,
it.
I think it's being vulnerable too, right? Like, I can't tell you how nervous I was to even
Yes.
send it to you, Stephanie. I was like, okay, hopefully she gets it. And you totally did. Totally, totally did. Right. So that alleviated the
Yes.
fear. But I think even
Yes.
just acknowledging that, again, myself as a marketer, I couldn't market myself, right? It was just, again, like you said, you're
Yeah.
too tied to it. The emotions are there. Um,
Mhm.
Not saying that you didn't bring more emotion and passion to the project. You definitely did, which is what I love so much about you. But
Yeah.
helping to kind of see things that I didn't, right? Or considerations I may not have
Yeah.
thought of. Then also too, I think what you really helped me do, Stephanie, was prioritize,
Yeah.
right? Of, okay, we've got a month to really,
Mhm.
gear this up, get it going. What can we
Yes.
do? What's most effective now? And then maybe in a few months, like, what can you do to follow up with that?
Yeah.
I think that was also very helpful to kind of wrap my brain
Yes.
around the timing of it, right? Like, again, this is my first book, my first
Yep.
kind of leeway into it being an author, and I had no idea which way was up or down. So Stephanie was my compass for sure.
Well, oh, you're so sweet. Well, I'm going to leave you and our listeners with a
Yes.
piece of advice, friend. And I wish somebody, well, they did tell me this when I was releasing my first book, but I didn't take it to heart. But I think as another marketer, you'll appreciate it. I may have told it to you before, but if not,
Yeah.
if not, here's a nugget. Your book's not a
No,
banana.
actually, you
Have you
haven't.
heard
I was like,
this?
ooh, you haven't dropped this nugget on me. So I'm
Oh
interested.
my
I'm
gosh.
chomping at the bit. Tell me, tell
Oh,
me. The banana.
your book is not a banana. It will not go bad in 3 days
Ooh.
and draw gnats in your house you didn't know were living somewhere and you have to toss it. Your book does not have a shelf life. I look at your book more like a can of peas in your pantry that has way too much sodium but can be around until
Yes.
the end of time, right? Like your book is evergreen. It has a message
Thank
that
you.
the world needs. And I share that with you because the moment that the book is kind of on that trajectory of release, we feel this panic. Like, I got to do it now. I got to do it now. If I don't do it
Right?
now, I'm going to miss
No.
something. You won't. Breathe life into your book whenever you're ready to
Yes.
breathe life into it. The secret sauce of book marketing success is consistency. Show up, pour into your book and your message, and you will reap from the seeds that you've sown. So just laugh and giggle as we work together in our next phase. And when the book comes to launch, you're like, it's
Right?
definitely not a banana, Stephanie, for real,
That'll
literally.
click.
But
Right.
figuratively, it's
No, and
not
I
either.
think too, Stephanie, that's again the beauty of working with you is, you can see that shelf life. I am still like, oh my gosh, I just wrote this book. What do I do with it? Right? Like, I can't even see that, months away. So
Yeah.
hearing that too, I think is rewarding because you never want things to be stale, right? Or become stagnant. So I think that's
No,
a
right.
great point. And two, it helps to kind of help tell that message and keep telling it, right? Like, people need, what is it, 9 times out of 10,
Keep telling
right,
it.
before they get it. So I'm going to hit you on the head 9 times and then
Mm-hmm.
you'll get it. So no.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and just know that I always add this too. Like, if you don't tell people about what you're doing, and if your message is something that's really game changing, you're being selfish. So
Mm,
you have to tell
no,
people.
very
So don't
true.
feel like, the 9 times out of 10, don't feel like you are beating them overhead, realizing you can save somebody, you can help
Yes.
somebody. And that's why we
Yes.
write books. That's why we do what we do. We don't do it for the fame and glory. We definitely don't do it for the paycheck. We don't do it for anything that the world thinks that we need. We do it because we know we can help
Yes.
somebody.
No.
And so don't ever, I'm telling you, everybody, and I'm telling myself, don't ever feel like like we're annoying people. What we're doing is we're giving them a
Very
gift.
true.
And I know your book
Thank
is a
you.
gift. Your message is a gift. And you are
Thank
too.
you.
Julie, thank you for being on the podcast. This
I
was
was
so
gonna
much
say,
fun.
Steph, we could keep
Went by so
going. I was like,
fast.
oh my gosh, we're already done. We're already to the end. No, seriously, Stephanie, I can't tell you how pleased I am that we got to work together, that I met you, and just getting to know you better. And again, that people part of it is super important, right? That we are helping people and helping people connect. I think that's the biggest message. The biggest takeaway is that LinkedIn can, even though it's technology based, app based, there's definitely a human element to it, and people need to leverage that in order to get people to care. So I love it. Thank you.
Yes, people connect with
Yes.
people, people buy from people, people invest in people. Connect with Julie
Please
and
do.
I
That's
on
right.
LinkedIn
Yes.
for real. And we'd loved for you to tell us a LinkedIn tip that you have found impactful. I'm sure we could use it.
Yes, please do share. I would love that, and I'd love to hear more for sure.
Thanks, Julie.
Perfect. Thank you.
LinkedIn has more opportunities than meets any eyeball. And I love how Julie saw the possibilities and leveraged the platform to work for her, not the other way around. Today, we shared some of our favorite tips on LinkedIn, but in honor of Julie's forthcoming book, I want to ask you to do two things. First of all, find Julie and myself on LinkedIn. Go to the show notes and you will see direct links to connect with us there. Secondly, we both want to hear some of your favorite LinkedIn tips. What are things that you are doing that you just love and you see benefit from? Follow the two of us on LinkedIn, share those tips, because together we can help each other, and we might just share your tip with others. And if LinkedIn makes your head spin, it's okay. Be on the outlook for Julie's forthcoming book on it. It's chock full of goodness. And if you want help in this space, we over here at the emPower PR Group are happy to also support you. Let's schedule a 15-minute chit chat and make some LinkedIn magic. Visit empowerprgroup.com/connect to make that happen. Author friend, thanks for listening today. As you know, I'm a believer that empowered people empower people. We have empowered you. Now it is your turn. Go out there and empower others.